brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're all doing well today. Look at what I got. Skipper got the shooter light. Yeah, I gotta hang it. It's right now just sitting on that shelf. I'm gonna hang it up. It's gonna go up there. I knew I wanted to do something. So, but that's okay. That's yeah, we're doing some stuff here. Let's see, who is here? We've got Nancy and Tammy and Joan. Good morning. Lady Jen and Kathy and Native Pride. Good morning. Good morning. Today is, so far it's turning out to be a good day. You know, I get very proud of my little man. He's at summer camp. And, I told him, I said, hey, text your grandma. Your grandma cares about you. And he sent me a thing yesterday. He said, hey, I texted grandma. I was like, good job. I was like, yeah, your grandma cares about you. And, she takes good care of you. So, Jesus. Hey, you two calm down. Calm yourselves. Dog and the cat. But yeah, I told him, I said, your grandma cares about you. And when people care about us, we got to let them know that we're thinking of them and we love them. And he's like, yep, I texted her. I said, okay. So they had a little conversation while he's at camp yesterday. And I'm like, that's important. He's enjoying camp. So that's a good thing. After my grandson finishes basic training and goes on to schooling, what is he able to take? When he goes to the fleet, he can take whatever he wants. The only thing is, if he's going to be living in the barracks, furniture and stuff like that will be provided to him. You can buy some furniture for the barracks rooms, but I wouldn't go overboard. Um, at least, depending on what service he is, like the Marine Corps, they're not going to put up with a lot of furniture. You can have like lamps and stuff, but that's about it. I even had I had a movie poster of Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, and I had a Marine make me take it down. He claimed it was drug paraphernalia. I was like, it's literally a movie, and it's a funny movie. And he was like, nope, take it down. So I took it down. As soon as that guy left the unit, it went right back up. But whatever is what it is. You will. The military is a good life, but it's also a life where you will be micromanaged. My thing got twisted there, and it's just part of the life. It's the Marines. Okay, yeah, he can take his clothes. Um, he can take his car. Um, yeah, most furniture is going to be a no go. You can decorate a little bit, but uh, I would wait for him to get settled into his barracks room before he goes anywhere. If he ends up out here at 29 Palms, let him know I'm out here. That's I've helped a lot of Marines out here. And the other thing that you should start talking to him about is that first off, whenever he gets injured, you have him send an email to his personal email. That's considered journaling. Years down the road, when he goes to make a VA claim, he'll be very thankful he did that. And then the other thing is encourage him to buy property, to use the VA home loan. It's no money down, and that is the best way I've seen for veterans to build wealth is they can buy a place where they live, um, start like find renters at some point, and like I've known several people who they've been to 5 or 6 duty stations and they own a home at each one, and then by the time they're looking to retire, all they either sell those homes and now they have a nest egg, or they uh, keep living off the rental income of that. So it's a very tried and true method for veterans, but it requires them to keep a good um, credit score. I was just helping a Marine about that this week. Young sergeant came to me, and he's looking to start his own business. And yeah, 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 it's a helpful thing to do. Um, uh, I get very frustrated with YouTube because I bought licenses for those music, and I play those music clips, and they don't hit me with copyright strike, but they get me with a demonetization notice. And the thing is, I appeal it, and I win every time because I've already paid for a license for these. Um, and you know, it's like you guys, you're gonna give me the money, like just review it and give it to me. But they don't review it. They take the full 30 days. So it ends up being a delay. Good morning, Georgie. There's my bestie. There she is. Georgie, you like it? I got the new light up. So I switched back to my webcam because using this camera that I was using for the last couple of days, and actually the program that I used for it was giving me some issues. So yeah, had a bit of an issue with it. Blue eyes and a smile that could melt Fort Knox. Not me. Not me. There's Coop. Good morning, Coop. Good to see you. One thing I want to talk about is this big, beautiful bill. It's being debated right now. Why are people so like? I can understand if you have problems with the bill. Totally get it. But why are we fighting about the no tax on tips and the removing the taxes from Social Security? I also think military pay should not be taxed. Um, I'm looking to find out. Sorry, I muted the first time when I coughed. I meant to that time. California just passed, or I think they just passed a bill. I'm trying to get clarification where they made the $20,000 of military retirement tax exempt, um, which it should be. Um, Bestie is spicy. Okay, I released a song about you this morning, and oh, okay. um, but yeah, like they, I don't know why California. It's like the last state that doesn't at least exempt a portion of military retirements. Uh, and it's military, from what I can see right now, it's military retirement and survivor benefit program. And which, by the way, I was talking with a woman yesterday whose mom, her husband has passed. He was a veteran. He was one of those veterans who was jerked around for years. And I told her, I said, you have your mom contact the VSO and get survivor benefits. She might be eligible for survivor benefit pension. Um, because her mom wants to go into assisted living and Social Security doesn't pay for all of it. So I told her, I said, look at that because that could be additional money that you could use to get her into assisted living. How will the government get their payday if they don't tax the hell out of us? Well, I mean, military pay shouldn't be taxed, Social Security shouldn't be taxed, and tips should not be taxed. Like in the New York Times, you guys may have seen my short that I have out there. The New York Times was like, "Well, it's only if you don't make 160,000." It's like only strippers are getting enough tips, and even then, I don't think there's many strippers getting tips over 160. Now, will you have? I had someone ask me, "Well, does that include bonuses?" And I don't know. I don't care if it does. I don't care. Like yeah, if I'm making 140,000, my boss wants to give me a $15,000 bonus. Great, great. It is 140,000 a good life. Yes, it is. But we're not talking. They're always like, "Well, we got to tax these billionaires." Billionaires are not getting tips. Billionaires are not getting tips. So, what is the problem with this? I think it's a great thing. As someone who worked as a waiter for many years, and I had to claim 10% of my cash tips and then all of my credit and debit card tips because there was a record. And our manager was like, no, you want to claim 10%. He goes, it's going to be hard for the government to audit you on that 10%, but at least claim that 10%. Because if you claim zero, then they're going to audit you, which is complete and total BS. There should be no tax on tips. None whatsoever. Um, I don't like that all these places are, oh, hey, tip. No, if if I'm standing when I give my order and I have to like take it to my own, no, if you're super nice, I might tip you, but no, I'm not. I'm not obligated. I'm not gonna tip people at McDonald's. Like, no, that's not the way. Tipping is there to keep food prices low. That is why that is there to keep menu prices low and stable. Because have you ever seen market price on a menu? That's because whatever that is, it's not a stable cost. And every day it's going to change. Now, do you really want to start going into restaurants and seeing the price change every single day? People don't like that. You can keep them kind of slated for fast food, but when you get into other restaurants, that's why we have tipping. Good morning, Mismatch Menace. But yeah, that's why Americans have tipping. It's to keep our prices stable. Um, and I get that, people from Europe, they don't understand that. And it's like, well, you have a lot more regulation. We don't want those regulations. That's why we do it this way. Um, but there's no one out there getting rich off of tips. And we need to I don't get the opposition to the no tax on tips. I don't get the opposition to no taxes on Social Security. Like it's literally our tax money. It's stupid. No, we shouldn't be paying. Military should not be paying taxes on their salaries. In fact, if we did away with taxes on military salaries, do you know how much better military families will be doing? Because there's a lot of wives who have side gigs, and like that would become the taxable income, and they would just keep that below the threshold to where they don't have to pay taxes on it. And right now we have a large, it's almost half of the military lives in poverty. That's sad. That is sad. Because what other parts of government are doing that? You don't see police and firefighters doing that. I know they say teachers do that, but teachers make way more than a an E4 that's been in 4 years. Teachers, even a starting teacher salary is way more. Um, Definitely, our government workers aren't getting paid that low. So that's the problem. So what you see is a lot of military spouses get government jobs because those are the only jobs, they have to move all the time. Those are the only jobs that they really can keep some stability in. And it's sad. It is sad. We should not be paying. If you took away the income tax, at least then there would be a good in, incentive to stick around the military. Staying in the military for a career is a sacrifice, regardless what people say. Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Yankee Bell. Good morning, Denise. That's okay. We come in here when you can, Denise. We appreciate having you. And people have lives. Trust me. Skipper does not have much of a life. That's why I do this show. Uh, but that's okay. I hope you guys are really excited about us doing the paranormal show. There's TC. Good morning. Law enforcement is incredibly well paid across the board. Yeah. I think there are problems with law enforcement. Like I think when law enforcement, when a member of law enforcement gets sued or has to, is faced with anything like suspension or anything, I think the union who's going to defend them, I think the union should be responsible for some of that. Then you'd see the union stop defending some of these bad cops. I'm not saying all cops are bad cops. You'll never see Skipper with a thin blue line. No, everybody is subject to accountability, including the military. I'll never say that. Oh yeah, this group is above reproach. No, uh, and that's true of our. You have a girlfriend? I got Lacey. We got Lacey. I. You know what I need? I need some Minnesota Black Robe Regiment merch for Lacey. Like, may, maybe you should make TC. You should make some Mardi Gras beads. Been dealing with my son's cancer, making a comeback. Well, everyone, make sure we pray for Denise's son. Let's do that. We're also praying for Tim Walters. His cancer came back, so pray for Tim. Who else did I forget? I know someone else is dealing with cancer. Oh, there's Brett and Madam Mayor. Good morning. I think it'll be cool as long as TC finds his own big feats and leaves. What we're going to do is we're going to go out into the woods and we're going to try to find Bigfoot. And yeah, we're going to find we'll find out we're tracking Georgie. She's got those hairy hobbit feet. She's gonna get mad at me now. I got people sending me stuff. It's like you guys know I'm on stream. Yeah, the good thing is as they go to body cams, we're starting to root out some of these bad cops, which we absolutely should. I mean, it's our tax money. That's what people I get. I don't want bad government workers. When I see bad government, no, they should be fired, and that's across the board. Look at look at teachers today. There are so many teachers today failing the students, and it's just a shame. And like they did a thing when I was in high school. It was called integrated algebra, and we were all put into this thing. And I'll tell you, it sucked. It sucked. When I got to college, even though I have a mind for math and science, uh, they made me retake algebra in college because they were like, well, your test scores were you were like you got some things you were off the charts, and other things you were super low because it didn't teach like normally how we were teaching. And guess what? That integrated algebra, it's now a part of uh, Common Core. It's what they're teaching now, and I experienced it. It was a failure, but these teachers just accepted it rather than say, "Yeah, this is a failure. We probably shouldn't do it." And they were so bought into, "No, this is what we should be doing." Timu Crew, Bubba, thank you so much. I appreciate the $2 for Georgie's hairy feet. We have a squeaky clean tiny man. Oh, good. Oh, good. What do you get a bath? Or is it my brother growing up would not take a bath. We pretty much had to hose him down. He just was he'd get a bath and immediately get dirty. We were feral children. I You know what? I need a shirt that said I'm a Gen Xer. I survived the 80s. You can't survive Thursday. Something. We got to work on that, Georgie. I think there's an idea there. I have family members that are part of the local police department, and Texas Rangers would hurt to find out that they were a part of the problem. Right? It would. I totally agree with you. It would. But that's why we have to encourage the good police to come forward about the bad ones. There's always been that, oh no, you you cover for your buddy. That's the problem. And it's a problem even in the military. In the military, I will say this, we do take care of problems. Like if someone's a problem, it's highly encouraged to take care of the problem. Um, we're getting away from it. The lawyers are taking over the military, which is the problem. I can't tell you how many times I was told, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I was like, well, I'm doing it because I know I can do it. Oh, that's where you disappeared too. Well, I was talking. I said Georgie. I said we're gonna do a hunt for Bigfoot, and we were just in the woods chasing you down with your hairy feet. Uh, Me and the Grangers we're in the discussions about the cruise that we're planning, and we're all in favor. We think we should go to the Bahamas. Georgie's so short she can swim laps in her. I need a Bigfoot sound. They were telling me if we're doing this show, I got to start adding sounds to the soundboard. Um, you know, they get rid of vocal law enforcement officers that speak out in any way. Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, yeah. TC is a perfect example. He was saying things that were wrong about his local government, and they were going after his job. TC was smarter than them, but yeah. Robert, watch your ankles, Georgie bites. Bahamas is on my bucket list. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. We I don't know if the Huffs are back yet. I don't want to interrupt them because I do know they went to their little. They got a cabin and they were out there at that. They've jumped in on the chat a little bit, but I don't want to. I don't want to interrupt them if they're doing anything. I bought the Frontier Airlines Go Wild Pass so I can really do some traveling. And they have blockout dates for the holidays, and I was trying to get my ticket to New Orleans before the holidays, and it wouldn't let me order it. Which isn't the end of the world. Going to New Orleans was kind of like a thrown together thing, and yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. But I think the blockout dates had already kicked in, even though I wasn't like today was the start of the blockout dates. Georgie braids her foot hair. It's cute. Bahamas, Jamaica, and Aruba are our faves. Yeah, I'm down with all those. I agree with you. I've been to Mexico, so Cozumel's like, okay, I've been there. I like going to new places. Oh, okay, they were in Redneck Stream. I'm sorry, I saw Redneck and Jen where they were broadcasting, but I was on the phone with people. So people call me, and then it's like I end up on the phone for an hour. Skipper can talk. I've got the gift of gab. Okay. I'm just looking at these texts. Good morning, Mama Coop. Good to see you. It's almost 7 o'clock here. I probably will not be sticking around too long, um, only because it's a short week. So I've got a lot of stuff to get done at the office, and I want to get it done before we break. The Marines will be gone today, so that'll be. I don't know how much smarter I am compared to them. I spoke out and I live broke every day. Well, you live broke every day because you don't take Skipper's advice, and I could easily get you to 100% disability, and you'd have a lot more money. You're just stubborn. You're not stupid. You're stubborn. Um, they are stupid. You, I'll tell you this: if you have a kid who's not the brightest, get them into government work. Um, they'll be very successful. I It always amazed me how people, even in the military, they would always take the stupid solutions, and I was like, "That is so dumb." Um, and that's why when Skipper got out, he was a very disgruntled captain, but I could recognize it and admit it. And that was the problem during the Obama years when we reduced the force, is they were reducing the force and they were still doing a lot of these things. So a lot of good people were like, "I'm getting the hell out." And then there were a lot of good people that they just forced out, and they kept stupid people around. Let me give you an example. The year was 2012. General Amos was the commandant of the Marine Corps. And that year he went all around the Marine Corps, looked every Marine into the eyes, and said, "We are screwing up as a force. I need you to fix it." And this is very well documented. And we had meetings, and I told our CO, was like, "What did everybody think about what the commandant came and talked to us today?" And I was like, every problem that he talked about can be solved by a motivated lieutenant and staff sergeant. So pretty much platoon level. But yet they didn't want the solutions to be at platoon level. They wanted them to be at battalion level. And it was like, okay, well, you're going to micromanage people. This is why these things are not going. And I remember we had a staff meeting that week, and we had to retake that year. We had to retake our sexual assault response training over a second time. Not even half the year is gone. We had to retake it because there were, and still to this day, tons of sexual assaults in the military. But Well, that's a problem when you have staff who are screwing up the orders and then re-victimizing the victims. That's where it really becomes a problem, and that's what was happening. So they said, okay, stop. Everybody's going to redo the training. So we had to redo the training. Now we redid the training. I remember we spent all of June retraining everyone, and it was our first week in July. We just got back off of 96, and we're in the staff meeting. The career planner's like, "Oh, here's all the people that we have that are re-enlisting," and that was when Obama was reducing the force, and so there's not a lot of names up there, and it's very competitive. And I remember there was the name of the staff sergeant up there, and she briefed about this staff sergeant. And then we end the staff meeting and we go into our force preservation council. So the non-essential people leave, and the essential people stayed there, and we're talking about all the Marines who are dealing with heightened issues. And the force preservation council was created to stop suicides. So we're dealing with that, and they mention about this Marine who she had been uh not the greatest Marine. She had been a little bit of a problem, but nothing serious to where like we're gonna court martial or NJP or any of that. It was always like, yeah, she's just kind of like a little bit outspoken and a little bit of a pain, right? Uh, Not unsalvageable. She could have kept her career. Well, during the 96, she had gotten SA'd. And so now they're talking about this with her. It wasn't her first time in the force being briefed at the Force Preservation Council, and the person who was briefing goes, "But the problem that we have is the staff sergeant, the same one who was um, up for reenlistment. Uh, when it was reported to him, he told her, "Okay, well, make sure you're back on time on Tuesday morning. If not, they'll be hell to pay." And I'm sitting there, and everyone's like, "Okay, yeah." And I go, "Wait." I go, "This guy, we just got briefed. He is going up to reenlist. Last month, we retrained everybody the second time on sexual assault response. And he still doesn't understand that when you get a sexual assault reported to you, you have to go through these channels. He still doesn't get it. This is the type of guy we need to be telling, hey, thank you for your service. There's the door. Please, please make way for someone else. That is who we should not have been reenlisted." And I'll tell you, they reenlisted that guy. And I had people who were decent Marines, but because they didn't shoot as good as him, or because they didn't run as fast as him, guess what? They didn't get a chance to reenlist. That was the problem with the military, and that was the type of things I dealt with regularly. And I am so glad that the DoD is reducing the force right now, because there a lot of these problem children got out and became DoD workers. Yeah, so when people are like, "Oh, they're firing veterans," you know what? Maybe they should. Maybe they should. Uh, I don't feel that, I'm above criticism. I'm, I should have to fight for my job. Everybody in the civilian sector, you have to fight for your jobs. Why are government workers any different? So there you go. I can't wait for y'all to meet the woman who birthed the Chaos Grim. I think we're gonna have fun. But there you go. There you had Skipper on his soapbox. I am looking at the time. I am going to get going. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, if you guys are plugging anything, please put it in there right now, or while the credits are going. Credits, the outgoing song is on. Make sure you go to the change.org petition and share that out. Here, I'll get you guys the link. The camera's fighting to focus. It's because it's the webcam today. Using the phone, the program crashed on me, so I'm redoing it. So there, please share the change.org petition I just put in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm gonna get going. In all honesty, I love you, Skipper. No homo. You're supposed to say no homo. All right, guys. You all have a good one. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.